Don't like the way that looks. Hello everybody, my name is Nathan. Welcome to Tiny Bunny. This game is another visual horror novel. I know some people don't always like visual horror novels, but I played Doki Doki, and from the few views those got, I kind of liked it a lot, so... Let's see if I can turn audio settings a bit down. Full screen, everything. Skip, volume. Sounds. Voice. I have a voice a little bit higher than everything. Text. Okay. Auto. Okay. Alright. Anyway. Yeah, welcome to The Bunny. This is another visual horror novel. And, yeah. I just wanted to upload this in particular because of the fact I was looking on Steam for another horror game to play. And I saw this and I'm like, man, I loved that last horror visual novel game. So I'm gonna play this. And, yeah. There's load options. There's everything. Of course, I haven't played this game before, so we're gonna start a new game, and it's gonna be fun. Oh, what is this? What's gonna happen? The wind clawed at my window all night long. It wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. And then the song weaved from all of our voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house and mind of its own, the creaky old mind of building that had seen a lot of days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whistling, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand on the edge of the forest, reassure themselves there is nobody behind the cooked trees. Fuzzy still silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow, just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still, I just realized that's a wolf. I didn't even see that. That was a wolf. Oh, cool. Put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look how slouched you are. This is cool so far. Hide? No. I have to. I didn't protest and put the book back about the Conan and barbarians aside. I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Aleah has already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies, so she was enthusiastic. She almost looked like your typical girl from the commercials. You're not going anywhere until you finished all of it. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if I would make the porridge disappear. Hazy and anxious welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Kodisu Odyssey. I love that show. What show? I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is, or how could the black forest is at night. A spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this? Carved on the other side of the table. Karina. Huh, that's my mom's name. Guess she carved it out of something pointing when she was little. Sure, she was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remember her about it? No, she's been a bit bad. She's been in a bad mood lately. I imagine her being my age, sitting under the table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Or were the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? Oh. I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed, where Aleah sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you times in rough trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. And with that will be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought for anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without maddening screams until late at night, without smashed dishes and mutual occasions. Okay, our parents used to love each other back then. I remember listening on one of their thick conversations by chance. They were talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket, and she called it her cute funeral box. I waited for its time in the closet patiently. It was a black, upholstered with meat, colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of our photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. Gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Aloya was done with her cookies, and I was looking at my share like silly woodland critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There were a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. A pattern of frost formed pictured on the glass. Aleah, look, it's a fox. Oh, that could be it too. Where? It looked almost like the optical illusion things they put on the back of students' notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur vision a little bit and look under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window. Look, here's the nose, and here's... Hey! I forgot what voice I gave her. Hey, eat up. Yes, just a moment. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. Ah, there it is, but it still doesn't look like one. I'm telling you, it does. Nah, it does. Stop it. These kids, I swear. I could not see the fox either. Oh, that's weird. It disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty pattern, similar to stretched out the new nettle leaves, kept peering up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long, measured steps. I want to have a beard like this when I grow up. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off. It stings." This was so long ago. Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks are an everyday occurrence. Aleah always covers her ears when she hears something like, "What is the point of all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I'd always caught every sound and hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with a D. D-I-V-O. I don't even want to finish it. It was scary to imagine. Oh, divorce? Is that the scary word? It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken into two different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. You and your owl talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anybody seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe not. You're a grown man, a father of two, and still... Carry on. This is a part of the game, or is this actually something wrong? Guess open? No, you guys can't see this. I'll just read it for you. I'm sorry, but an uncaught exception occurred. Running game code exception transition act, full traceback, and it shows the same code here. Huh. I wonder. Let's ignore. Just let me get ready in peace. Your keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anson, stop making a miter out of yourself and finish eating already. And the owl? There was no owl. But there was one. And a giant glowing eyes. Leia sprang from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, intimidating a pair of eyes with the fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had Bobby on your closet. Now this owl? What's that? But I saw it. Aleah shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but I couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully a girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's so little. Aleah pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed away into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Mom gave Dad a little strict look. Oh, that's never good. Oh, that look in her eyes, it's so uncomfortable when she's pinned under it. Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with car keys he just found. A minute has passed and the theme song from The Little Mermaid and echoed through the house. It was stored incredibly worn out cassette tape, which Dad already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together, for example. But how do they fix a relationship? Mom moved to the living room and I was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Cool. Aleah had trouble sleeping ever since we moved into this house. She would toss and turn and curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Cartoons helped her take her mind off the troubles we had with the move and our parents. Fucking hell. And then Aleah said that she saw a giant flying monster outside her window. She becomes obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power, but they still tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Aleah refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After tonight, I was unsure what to make out of my sister's words. What to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? No. Just last night I couldn't get a wink of sleep, and I ended up thinking of what I expected in my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisted hallways that led to a classroom full of kids. But all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out of using a template. Circular holes gaped into the middle of their faces, and with pairs of eyes blinking inside the three holes, it was some completely different creature looking at me from behind the flat, black silhouettes. The cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they... I thought the door started creaking open. That scared the shit out of me. Won't they gang up on me and beat me down? What was that? Stomp me with their bloodied shoes? The damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go to there that badly. I didn't want to see people who are just itching to smack me in the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me, worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made an outsider some sort of a monster. I hate that. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on the walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Aleah begged me to hang them. Drawing is the only thing that made me happy as of late. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me when time to time. Sometimes I imagined Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number," or Anson is not around. Anson is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all, but who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from a big family next door. Our current house, though, I can't really call it new. It was completely different. It was silent and easy going through the day. Its shadows lay dormant on the corners, on the closet cobwebs, on the stairs. But they all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were hanging on the walls, place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning, the attic was occupied by noisy giraffes. One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody, and then I realized I was, in fact, hearing music. It was already playing it for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception, I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts, too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that the music was not more than a product of my imagination. Not like someone was playing it there, amidst the cold, snowy night, right? Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at some time, circled around, holding hands, whipping up snow, disappearing into shadows for a brief moment, and then coming back. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing on the starless abyss made my imagination go wild, making me anxious at the same time. Suddenly, the music had stopped. Oh no. The dancing shadows rose in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field with giant leaps. Fucking hell! It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch black shadow of my house, which became darker and thicker. My heart was jumping around like a bird inside of a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. Fucking hell. Why did sound get me? I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to someone wanted guest move and scrape around looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right. The circles around the closet. Now my guest should be at the front door. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with the blanket as if I could protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral. My grandma lying there, hands crossed on her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a thin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. Imagine those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with their tiny legs. Their wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets, and she'll be able to see her grandchildren. I was chanting the spell she taught me without the whole procedure, and now lying under the blanket and listening to the squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Boyen, underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color of blue, stands a cabin made out of wood. There lay a lard and ashen of hair, for the spawn of the selves devil's lair. To the feast it always leave alone, God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil, leave this house must. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around the hangman. And then the night doused me with a new potion of boiling terror. Sound scratched in my eardrums. In reality, something more scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a security lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently, as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the night of darkness. And then the doorknob twitched slightly. Then it turned halfway once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. The doorknob tilted one more, and then it started clicking violently. My jaw cramped from fear. My wet fingers clutched the blanket. The doors creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning us inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. The door was wide open. The darkness within the carnivore's mouth of a doorway. Tony. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and screeching with rusty hinges. I was trembling, ensured by the web of darkness that hung from the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out to the gaping black hole. Tony. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. Before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, "Tony, you asleep?" My sister's pale face protruded from the thick shadows. I almost screamed from relief. "Aleah? I'm not sleeping. Did something happen?" Aleah frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. "This is... It's there again, staring at me." "Shoo her away, Tony, please. I'm so scared." A fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away. I hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to help calm Aleah down. "It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's coming to harm you." Aleah sobbed. She was trying her best to believe me, but I was sure myself. But was I sure myself? I don't know, man. "I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch the video. Sleeping Beauty, for example. You like the cartoon, don't you?" "Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird?" That question took me by surprise. "Alright, let's watch Cinderella." My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? It started me with his eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon. The darkness was clinging onto the window, and I couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. She couldn't be satisfied with the feast of lard and losing ashen hair. "Tony, you coming?" Yes, just a moment." Fucking hell! Oh my lord, I hated that. That's why I don't want to laugh at Aleah when her owl in the morning. Doorbell. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. Felt extremely unsettled from just a silly thought our morning guest would have come from the woods. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains, where Aleah always hides. "Tony, come here!" I feel like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them forward toward the hallway. Oh, no, that's not good. A couple policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled at the moment she saw her patrol cars, worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. "Hello?" The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. My boy had gone missing yesterday. His name is Vova. Look at this. Please, have you seen him?" The policeman held out a photograph to me. Let's see if I... There's a ginger boy around the age of elementary school I pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a white smile. No, I haven't." "Are you sure? Look closely." "Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house." "Well, maybe you've seen him from the window?" "That's right. Your windows look straight at the forest, don't they?" The window. That scared the shit out of me. Sorry, I have soundproof foam that's on my wall so there's no echo. I got it before recording, and it's good. But as soon as that part came up, where it was like the flashback from the forest thing, that came up, and this fell immediately. That's... Wow, okay, that's kind of scared me. Okay, you want to know what I mean? Hang on, give me a second. I have this, and then here's my lamp. There's PC, and here's my screen. I think you guys have seen it plenty of times before, but, you know, also here's recording. And I want to see if I can create the optical illusion that, you know, on the screens. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, then we also got these guys here. A bit of a setup tour, I guess, but, you know, it's whatever. Alright, anyway, back to the video. Anyway, no, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his stare, long and heavy, full of suspicion. screamed unwittingly under the weight of the guilt which a giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over at the hallway. The hallway with the cracks in the ceiling, which I haven't noticed before for some reason. How do you like your new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything is alright, thank you. He's been pierced through me one more time with his gray eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked that in shaky voice and look a little polite boy and end the pleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles. Always engrossed in reading those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visit this summer. Wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, steer away from trouble. Times have changed so much, Mom interjected with a cold voice. You don't say. Well then. What grade your son in? What grade are you in, Tony boy? 6th? I'm in 6th grade? I mean, that kind of makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have you made any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going for school for the first time after the break. Then, I'll leave you my number, just in case. Call me if you have any new info. Okay. Policemen were going along with their shadows. The smell of cheap cologne? Is that how you spell cologne? And the photo of a smiling boy. Okay. His face still stood before my eyes. I wonder what it was like for him, being all alone there. For some reason, I thought of the forest staying in the wild. What did his poor parents feel? What would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it, poor child. Oh boy. I look out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove off toward the village. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off the paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series I've read this summer. The average boys and girls invented all sorts of mysteries there. Looked for clues, spied on suspicious people, and after a set of amazing adventures, BAM! Solved any complicated case. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footsteps that led to the forest, and then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start investigating of my own? Maybe I'll find that lost boy, and I'll get a reward. Aleah would be so happy. And not only Aleah, Mom and Dad too. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe they'll even save us from the D word. I fantasized about buying Aleah a Tamagotchi and buying a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. I had a little to no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think. Neighbors used to envy us, but nowadays Mom and Dad barely had money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Aleah. Sometimes I gave her mine to share too. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she still has just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photo. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse, echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Better go pack your school bag or play with Aleah. Okay, fine. Splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. Oh, I can choose to do stuff? Let's open this. dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates it when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. And Aleah can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Bobby is living in there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp. She could see there's nothing but cobwebs, dead tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in a closet and listen to Aleah count outside. 1, 2, 3. Better hide from me. And then drag her feet across the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the camped monster's den. What's this? Alright. I'm gonna save it here. It's probably gonna be a short video. Alright. Oh. Who is that one? Anyway, yeah. Well, if you guys enjoyed, this was kind of more as of a short video. I know there's a lot of extra stuff involved in making these videos, and it's probably gonna be a very short video. But I kind of wanted to just make a video to introduce to you guys what type of video game this is gonna be. And I think that jump scare at the beginning was very nice. And I think just in the end, showing you guys this is gonna be a point-and-click adventure is gonna be very nice as well. But anyway, I'm gonna hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to like the video, and if you enjoyed it even more, subscribe. It's not like Twitch where you have to pay. You just click the little red button next to my name, and bam, it's easy and done. And if you want to get a notification whenever I upload, click the bell icon too, and turn it on to personalized. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I hope if you guys enjoyed. Yeah, stick around, and maybe I'll do more of this series. You never know. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. I'm kind of ending the recording a little bit early because I got a really bad headache. And yeah, so yeah, yeah, that's really it. Have a good day. I'll see you all later. Bye.